My name is Cliff Carpenter. I'm 92 years old, and I'm playing the role of a Catholic priest in a production called Two Hearts, which is being produced by the Axial Theater. And the particular one act, there are four one acts, and the one act that I appear in is being directed by my good friend Howard Meyer. My first professional job as an actor in 1923-24, and I worked, I did some radio at that time, but I was in a couple of films and worked with some people who were also who were in my class, 1936, my class. Lloyd Bridges and Irene Worth. In my lifetime, I've worked with many brilliant actors and a number of wonderful stars. Well, I had an opportunity to work with James Earl Jones, and as a matter of fact, I was in a play called Sunrise at Campobello that was the first Broadway play that he did. And his part, I hope, Jim, if you're listening, well, it's interesting anyway, that his part consisted of something like, "Where shall I put the bags, Mr. Roosevelt?" But of course, since then, I don't have to tell you, he's become a terribly important figure, not only as an actor, but as a personality. And a couple of years ago, he and I did the first act of the play of Mice and Men, which we performed in a natural setting, which was exactly what was called for by the text. The play I did with Lee Grant was called Bus Stop, which was quite a hit in its time, and it was made actually into a film. I may have the facts wrong, but I think Marilyn Monroe was in the film. I'm not sure of that, but I think so. Yes, I appeared in Inherit the Wind on Broadway, and later I toured in it with Ed Begley Sr. Everybody gets confused. And at that time, when we went on the road, Ed Begley Sr. played Clarence Darrow, which was the role created originally by Paul Muni. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Oaxaca, and you know, Tony Quinn was Mexican, and I think his mother, father was Irish, but the other partner was Mexican, and he looked, anyway. So I said that I was in this play with Tony Quinn, and this Mexican said, "You don't mean Anthony Quinn, do you?" In other words, he thought that I wasn't treating Tony Quinn with enough deference. He was a very fine actor, a very vigorous man. I worked in radio drama for some years. As a matter of fact, when I was doing it, I did not nearly appreciate so much as I do now the character of the literature that I worked with, and the talent of the actors. I worked with Helen Hayes, and I worked with Judith Anderson, and of course I was on these shows with Al Jolson and Kate Smith, Tyrone Power, Edward G. Robinson. Those were all very well household names at that time. In my lifetime, I have some of the most exciting moments ever in my life were moments in which I was sitting in the theater and I was watching a great performance. It changed my life. I remember John Barrymore in Los Angeles, the Philharmonic Theater in the, I don't know, 26, something like that. And he did on the stage alone, soliloquy, oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Profoundly influenced to this day. I can see him so vividly. And I remember those lines, oh, what a rogue and peasant. Is it not monstrous that this player here, in a vision, could force his soul so to its own deceit that from its working, his visage wand, all his functions suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba? What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? I was an actor during the Blacklist era, and as one of the weavers said, if it weren't for the honor, I would just as soon not have been blacklisted. If I had it to do over again, and this applies to my lady friend Jean, who was blacklisted, and we both are firmly believe that if we had to do it over again, we'd do the same darn thing because it was who we were, it was how we felt, and we did not compromise. Some people, you know, gave the names, and then they could keep working. There was no problem. But there were many, my friends, they couldn't do that. The advice that I would give to young actors, if I were prone to give advice to young actors or advice to anyone, would be if you're going to do it, be serious about it, and make yourself familiar with the great dramatic literature, and don't be suckered into some a dream of fame and fortune, like you know, celebrity. Don't be beguiled into that. Love your craft and serve it as honestly and as intelligently as you're capable of, and care about it and love it. Yeah, I'm playing a priest in this play, The Last Delivery. The Last Delivery. I'm reluctant to say too much about it because I'm in it, and naturally, you know, I can only speak from my standpoint. But I respect the material very much. And I'm able to identify with the character, who surprisingly is an older man. That's a joke, folks. But see, when you get to be my age, 92, you find yourself, I guess, I say you, I think most people who get to be 92 become slightly preoccupied with their mortality. In other words, they know that the last bell is going to ring for them pretty soon, and they naturally wonder about that, think about that from time to, I know I do, and what has been my life, and have I pulled my weight in a boat, and what will it be like not to be alive? So I think that the priest that I play is having some of those thoughts.